If you're serious about your purpose, if you're serious about your business, if you're serious about chasing excellence, not women, you have to maintain that to a degree.
I'm not saying don't have kids. I'm not saying don't have a relationship with a woman.
Rich Cooper.
Mr. Richard Cooper.
Richard Cooper.
Rich Cooper. Rich Cooper to the show. How you doing, man?
We don't normally go live on Thursdays, guys, but we got a special guest in the house, man. We got Rich Cooper.
His name is Richard Cooper.
Richard, it's great to see you. I really appreciate your coming on.
Rich Cooper, welcome to the show today.
Being more honest about it, and women at the same time sort of relaxing their standard.
Cash, but 5% of my wealth in crypto. 95% of that is.
I just want a girlfriend, or I just want one girl, just want to be in a relationship.
And when you spend time playing Halo with little Timmy and zeroing the scope in on the BB gun.
Richard Cooper has generated over 1 billion views across all his content and has built an audience of more than 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's a 2-time best-selling author, the mind behind the Unplugged Alpha and the Top Shelf Man, with 5-star reviews and over 1 million copies sold.
It's showtime.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Unplugged Alpha. This is where we unplug you from society's comforting lies. I help men get more out of what they want out of life without making costly mistakes. So if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe and like and all the good stuff. And again, get the books. They're on Amazon. This is where the gold is. This is where you'll learn everything summarized in a nice format. Let's get started on tonight's kickoff topic because MacKenzie Bezos, Scott now, apparently she's reverted back to her maiden name, MacKenzie Scott. She gave away $26 billion. It was announced recently in this past week that she gave away, or she's given away, a vast, fat stacks of cash from her fortune. I think they got divorced in 2019 or 2020. So call it 6 years ago or so. She's been passing out money like it's going out of style, like it's candy at Halloween. Apparently it's fixed nothing. There was some criticism levied against her by Elon Musk. And I've got a summary here of her spending on donations and Elon's criticism. So let's see here. So she has donated 26.3 billion. That's with a B. Through her organization, Yield Giving. That's a lot of money. I don't think that if I was like throwing money at cars, travel, the kinds of things that I like to do for fun, that I could burn through $26 million in my lifetime. But anyway, Yield Giving is the charity primarily in large, unrestricted, no strings attached gifts to thousands of nonprofits. It says here over 2,700 recipients, which makes her the most prolific individual philanthropist in history by speed and scale, with a record 7+ billion in 2025 alone. Now, if you don't know this, when they got divorced, she got a whole bunch of cash and shares from Amazon and a bunch of this, that, and the other thing. They've got 3 children together. They're all boys. And they adopted one girl from China. So let's see what she's been spending her money on in donations. So her approach and focus has differed from traditional philanthropy, is what it says here. These gifts, again, they're unrestricted. So you make a donation to a charity or a cause. The charity goes, thank you. Is there anything that you'd like us to do with this? She says, no. Take your $7 billion and spend it on whatever you like. I like your charity. So again, these are unrestricted. So the recipients decide on how to use the gifts. The priorities were focused on racial equity, DEI, education, heavily supporting Black colleges and universities, poverty alleviation. It's generally a good cause, but we just keep seeing more poverty. We don't see poverty being deleted from society. We just keep seeing more homeless and more poverty showing up. Housing, homelessness, climate, environmental justice, because, that's still a big thing. Food security. Some of these definitions are quite funny. Food security, disaster recovery, girls, women's empowerment, LGBTQ+ rights, immigration, and social justice. Now, remember, she's got 3 sons, count them. I don't see anything here where she's donated money to anything about boys' causes, boys' clubs, that kind of stuff. It's all gone to like the standard woke narrative that women like to donate money to or to try to support as much as possible. And I've got a lot of tabs open over here in tonight's show. I'm going to cover a lot of stuff. We're going to move around a little bit. But there's one very interesting point that I want to make on one of these tabs towards the end, which I'll show you. I can't kick it off at the start of the show because it's kind of gross. But we'll get into that later on. Notable recipients and examples. So the largest recipient has been in education and Black colleges and universities, with over $1 billion historically Black colleges and universities being spent in that area. Large grants to Howard University, Winston-Salem State, University of Texas, Rio Grande, et cetera, et cetera. All significant support for other colleges and scholarship programs. Housing development for Habitat for Humanity, girls' education and global causes, which included tens and tens of millions of dollars, it says here. International girls' education in Africa. It's bonkers to me how much money is earned in the West from the Western demographic. Like Amazon, for example, a lot of that money in share value that came, vis-a-vis through the divorce, through, being married to Jeff Bezos and splitting up the matrimonial assets, was earned, domestically off Amazon shipping and products and that kind of stuff. But you'll find a lot of money that's earned in the West. It all goes to places like Africa. And I mean, I've been around for a while, guys. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I still see the exact same problems that have existed, in my lifetime, over 40, 50 years now. And you don't see much improving there. It's like most of it's still a shithole, right? So tens of millions of dollars to girls' education in Africa. Groups focus on climate, high fund for climate and gender justice. Climate and gender justice, that's a new one. Adoption, okay, that's a fair cause. I think children that might be given up for adoption should be due an opportunity for those that can't have kids. Wide array of community, equity, and social service nonprofits. Blah blah blah. Reported impact. So a 3-year study on the impact of these donations, the $26 billion that she's handed out, unrestricted, by the Center of Effective Philanthropy, on her first $19 billion in gifts, found financial stability. Nonprofits reported stronger reserves. Here's the interesting thing about nonprofits that not a lot of people talk about. I know several entrepreneurs that run nonprofits. I was a member of Entrepreneurs Org Toronto for several years. There was 138 members, I think, in the GTA chapter. And a lot of those people, they ran charities, and you get to know them pretty good. You sit down, you have dinners, you go to learning events. Guys like Vern Harnish come out, Cameron Harold, stuff like that. They do talk. So you learn a lot about their business, the business model, what they do, the kind of problems that they solve, sort of stuff. And you find a lot of the money that goes to nonprofits doesn't actually get to the cause. There was a study done at one point, like broadly speaking, I'm not talking about the people that I know specifically, but broadly speaking, usually less than about 10 or 15%. In some cases, it's much lower, it's single digits, end up at the cause. So, when you make a donation to UNICEF, for example, or something like, save the whales, or, save the children in Africa, or some shit like that, a lot of it that you donate gets chewed up through the organization. Oh, we need to pay this guy a bonus. They need a consulting fee. We need a new jet. Standard kind of shit. Most of it goes through the organization because they get that nonprofit tax status. They're not really solving problems, if we can put it that way. I'm just going to broadly say that they're not improving things that dramatically. The whole nonprofit business model, in my opinion, is a bit of a scam. Anyway, community reach, program expansion and innovation. Critics note that the systematic issues like homeless, poverty, etc., persist despite her donations, and they've gotten worse in some cases. They say it's complex, multi-dimensional, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip that. I want to go to Elon's criticism. Musk has repeatedly called out Scott's giving as concerning, quote unquote, or actively harmful. Key points from his public statements, and these are mostly on the X social media platform. He suggested that her donations, often to progressive-leaning causes like racial equity, DEI, social justice, LGBTQ plus initiatives, and related nonprofits, again, quote unquote from Elon Musk's mouth, are making the world a worse place and contributing to the decline of Western civilization. Musk has referenced super rich ex-wives who hate their former spouse, quote unquote, in the context and criticize funding for causes he views as divisive or counterproductive. Certain equity programs, immigration, Planned Parenthood, orgs, etc. In broader context, Musk's skepticism of traditional philanthropy and emphasizes redistribution's DEI over what he sees as innovation, free speech, population growth, or merit-based progress. He contrasts it with business-driven solutions or his own priorities via his foundations, X, AI, and so on and so forth. Anyway, there's a whole ton of online debate on this unrestricted charitable giving by MacKenzie Bezos on woke philanthropy and its effectiveness. It seems at this point in time, it's organizations taking money from this woman and burning through it on, what are supposed to be meaningful causes with no meaningful impact, if we can put it that way. So fair point to Elon Musk for pointing this out and criticizing it so harshly. Nobody gets more reach on social media platforms like X especially than him. So it's interesting to see him amplify certain ideas, throughout the course of the week. There was another one that came up as well this week, which I wanted to talk about. Let me see if I can find my tab, because there's this citizen vigilante. You guys may have heard of it. I made a post about it because I spent the hour and a half watching it. So if you don't know, the Citizen Vigilante film was released last week by a German guy. I don't know if he's German. I can't pronounce his name, but it's a shitty movie. If I'm being honest. I like vigilante films. They're some of my favorites. Boondock Saints is right up near the top. Definitely a top 10 for me, right? But this film got banned in Germany specifically, and I think some other places in Europe because of the nature of it. Because what it is, it's this guy that goes, I'm just going to spoil it. I mean, most of you guys have probably seen it by now. This guy just goes on a spree of correcting injustices that he sees with very lax immigration and policing efforts, if I can put it that way. I got the narrative behind the film, and I'm with it. I get that people are getting frustrated with it, but anybody with a working brain knows that shit's well out of hand already. With excessive migration, pathetic politicians, with piss poor jobs of policymaking. There's only a very small handful in the European Union that are vocal, and there's I'm going to say the tide shifting in the favor of positive change. Now back to the film. Citizen Vigilante, in my opinion, was a shit film. The idea is kind of cool. Vigilante films are awesome, but put somebody like Guy Ritchie on the project, with some real tweaks and a bigger budget, because the thing it was just a shitty film, and I don't know why. It blew up, and it got people made a mountain out of a molehill, in my opinion. I don't think the film itself is going to change anything. It's not a documentary. It's obviously fiction, but I get the point about it. It's stupid, in my opinion. Anyway, just wanted to chime in on that bit. Let me go to some of these other tabs here. What can we start with here? So you might have heard me say this before. It's probably in both of my books more than once somewhere. Something along the lines of the idea that a woman wants a man with a sparkle in his eye, but they do not want to be that sparkle. Let me spell it out for those that may not understand that. Chicks want a guy with a sparkle in his eye. He's got to have some life to him, but she does not want to be that sparkle in his eye. She wants a guy that's on a purpose, has a vision, prioritizes those things, is out there doing something, putting a small dent in the universe, if I can put it that way. And I was forwarded this article from the Daily Mail. And it says here in the title, "My husband has no friends and it's ruining my life." And this woman, Tracy Cox, I don't know who she is, revealed the uncomfortable reality of being with a man who makes her his entire world. So I'm going to have a look here at this. I'm just going to read it to you. I don't need to put it up on the screen so you see the words. But it says here in Tracy Cox's article, it's the end of a hellish week and you're getting ready to go out with your girlfriends, have a glass of wine, a bit of a laugh, and it's exactly what you need. Then you look at your husband. He's sitting on the sofa, scrolling aimlessly through his phone, and you know he'll be exactly where you left him when you get back home. The guilt wipes out all the happy anticipation that you've been feeling. You should be pleased. Rather, him home alone than going out getting drunk with his mates, right? So why do you feel suffocated rather than grateful? Women rarely talk about feeling trapped by a husband who has no meaningful relationships outside of his marriage, but it's happening to millions across the United Kingdom. This is specific to the UK. It says here in the article by Tracy Cox. Let me just show you who this gal is, by the way, that wrote this article, because I like making these points. I think they're relevant to the chat. This is her. This is Tracy Cox right here. Padded shoulders, you know, assuming the boss girl stance. Why is this scrolling down when I'm not asking it to? Let's try to go back up. There we go. Assuming the boss girl stance, you know, you've all seen it before, right? The LinkedIn profile, the lawyers, the accountant, the professional boss girls, padded shoulders, suit, you get the idea. Anyway. Let's continue reading her point here. So she says why men lose friends next. I can tell you why before I even read this. It's usually because they alienate the men from their friends, or they tell them not to pursue the hobbies that they love so much after marriage because they want to reprioritize your time on their agenda. Babe, we got to go out and get some new curtains. Babe, we need a new chandelier for the dining room table. You can't go out with that guy. He's a bad influence. He cheats. He does this. He does that, whatever. He's got a potty mouth. Whatever the reason happens to be, that's usually the reason why guys lose their friends. But let's see what Tracy Cox has to say here. She goes, so why doesn't your husband have a healthy friendship group like yours? Research shows men's friendships are more fragile than women's. Are they really? They're built around activities, playing sports or going to the pub after work rather than talking. I mean, when I go out with the boys, we shoot the shit a lot, so I'm not sure what that's about. Take away their ability to do the activity. He moves, leaves his job, becomes busy with parenthood or retires, and the friendships disappear along with it. What role did you play in that, Tracy? Women tend to maintain friendships through conversation and emotional connection. We keep a friendship alive on WhatsApp for years. Men generally can't or won't even try. Add to this that many men, particularly over 45, were brought up to believe the only person you talk to about your feelings was your wife. Male chat is about football, work, or anything else. That is a bit hard. I've said this many times, guys. You don't cry to your wife. You don't express your weak feelings to your wife. If there's something troubling you in life, there's something difficult going on, and you need to reconcile it, have a board of advisor. Have your boys, like sit down and talk to the men about these things and troubleshoot them and get to the solution. Women don't care about men's struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winners. It's just how they are. And that's why this gal over here in turbo padded shoulder boss girl pose is getting so frustrated. And I would even argue probably disgusted by her husband at this point. Anyway, add to this that many men over 5 brought up to believe blah, 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 blah. And you will see why we have a generation of men who are loving husbands, but socially stranded if the marriage hits a rough patch or his wife wants an evening to herself. He may not be able to pinpoint or articulate what he's feeling, but women know it's anxiety. Is it really? It's really got a lot more to do with the alienation of men from their hobbies and friends. It's got nothing to do with anxiety, in my opinion. Why his loneliness is hard for women. So again, any article that a woman writes, it's like, men are failing at this metric in life. In this case, it's male friendships and circles. Women suffer the most. So why his loneliness is hard for women. Most women who are with a friendless man are riddled with guilt. Guilt we have a rich, full life and he doesn't. Sitting around getting smashed on box wine, cackling with your girlfriends about gossip is really a rich, full life. I don't know. I mean, you guys have seen my take on marriage, why smart men don't get married. You get the idea. I mean, I don't need to cover that again, do I? Maybe another show in the future. You can't talk to him about it because it sounds cruel to say, I feel bad that you have no friends. What generally happens is your life shrinks to accommodate his. You go out less, come home earlier, and check in when you're out. Some invitations you say no to because it seems rude to leave him behind at home alone too often. It's not like he's a dog or anything. I think guys are okay with their own company. The result of this is resentment. Your good times are being curtailed because of him. It's all his fault that she's not having fun now because he's sitting at home doom scrolling. Anyway, encourage him to get out there. Don't enable, plan ahead. These are her solutions. Forgotten friends can be resurrected. Get him to reminisce about the past, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's a Tracy Cox. Oh, by the way, she's a sex author is what it seems to be her line of work. But this is what you get, in today's modern world, right? Now, there was another article that was distributed in the Times, and Western governments are now talking. This is starting in the United Kingdom, by the way. Western governments are now talking about enforcing family law on couples that aren't married or living in a way that looks like marriage to the government. I'm going to define that a little bit more because some of you might be new, but I've maintained for a long time now, it's unwise for most men to either get married or live in a way that looks like marriage to the state because it allows the state to become the head of your household and decide what happens to your wealth, your access to your kids, and so on and so forth. Now the UK government's, because they're probably seeing opportunities to enforce family law on men when relationships end for people that aren't married or living in a way that looks like marriage, i.e. living together. So, for example, you're dating and you don't live together and you see each other for a period of time. They're going to say, well, you guys broke up and she wants some money and she thinks she's worth, this and you're worth that. So we're going to redistribute the man's assets to her because 3 years went by and we think that she deserves it, even though you never got married, never had a ceremony, never moved in together, never bought a house together. This is where the Western governments are moving, guys. This is a very, very slippery and dangerous slope. Let's see what's going on here. So it says here, the UK government's consulting on reforms to strengthen financial protections for unmarried cohabitating couples upon separation. So in this case, it's actually saying cohabitating, so they are living together. This addresses the current trust law, where outcomes depend heavily on legal ownership, contributions, and evidence of common intention, often leading to disputes, especially over jointly or solely owned homes. Proposals include eligible cohabitants, typically those living together for at least 3 years or with children, could claim a share of assets like house sale proceeds, pension adjustments, limited short-term maintenance, mainly for basic needs. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me in the comments that's watching in the UK. I don't believe they have common law there, right? So you can live together and not be considered married. Correct me. I'm going to have to look that up in a second. Rights would start from actual legal beneficial ownerships rather than presuming equal splits, unlike divorce. Opt-out agreements would be available to preserve choice. The aim is to better reflect modern realities of the 3.5 million cohabitating couples in the UK, reduce hardship, especially for women. It highlights that. And domestic abuse survivors, which we know not based on the media's representation, because the media always says that women are the recipient of domestic abuse, but men receive domestic abuse at nearly the same level. I mean, some people say it's even higher. So they're looking to modernize family law in the UK over this. The article highlights government recognition of rising cohabitation costs of living pressure while noting the push to maintain marriage distinct status. Reactions are mixed. Debates over fairness, potential. See, women would lose their shit if they weren't hypergamous, right? If women didn't date and marry up, they would be very upset by this because they would be the ones that would stand to lose. Is common law a thing in the UK? Nobody chimed in the chat yet. We'll find out here in a second. Let's see if there's a division and assets are divided on breakups. see what we got here on that, because I want to figure out that detail right now to see, because this was actually talking about Western governments, even though it highlights specifically the UK. No, there's no common law marriage in the UK currently. Unmarried couples do not have the same automatic rights to asset division as married couples upon breakup. Okay. Steve from accounting mentioned this to me a few years ago. He was the guy that edited my books. He does live in the UK. So they're looking to apply common law. The other governments, Canada and the United States, are also looking at these ideas as well. I mean, let's see what happens as this unfolds, but you should be aware of this coming down the pipeline if you live in the UK, because it seems like it's on its way. There's a total of over 40 sources citing this detail right now. Okay, well, that's crazy. All right, let's move on here. We have some other tabs to attend to. Let's deal with the humiliation ritual that is marriage. So anybody watching here fart a lot? Guys tend to fart, especially when you're, working out and eating a lot of protein. You get the protein farts and stuff like that. So this is kind of like a little bit of a funny thing, but there's humiliation in all of these. Like, check this out. So if you can't see that, that is a dryer exhaust hose taped to the guy's ass and vented out through the window. Now, some women don't really care when men fart. Some women do care. I remember I was on a date once, and this chick, who was really nothing special, was lecturing me on flatulence at some point. I don't know how it came up. Having my drink, I'm just like, oh, okay, so you don't like farts, do you? No, it's a no-go zone. It's intolerable. Well, what would you expect the guy to do if he had to let one rip? Well, he would have to get up and go to the bathroom and blow his fart in the bathroom. And I just laughed. It's like the shit that like women expect men to do to placate and please them. And imagine saying this to a guy on a first date. It's like, like you're a bimbo, for the most part. Like, you got, like, what have you done? And you're trying to tell guys when to pass gas and how to pass gas. And then they make these mocking videos that you see on social media that, women pass around, and they share it on the Facebooks and the TikToks of the world. And they like to pass it around their girlfriends. And it's like, it's totally, you get Bill to do this. He's got gas, put a tube on his ass and tape it there, sort of thing. And it's like, and guys go along with this and they laugh at it, and they try to play. Like, guys, from the get-go, early on in dating, if you got to let one rip, let her rip. Honestly, my policy was just let her rip, and then just make a joke out of it. Like, you'd be walking somewhere, you blow a fart, and you should look at you and be like, what was that? Oh, it's barking spiders. It's some ducks over there or something like that. You just make a joke about it and you keep going, sort of thing. That's my policy on it. Silly things like this should not be deal breakers for chicks, but you know how it goes. Women and their demands. I found this interesting. I saw Viva Fry, David, tweet about this because it's been Pride Month here in Canada, and we've had a Pride parade in Toronto, and Mark Carney, our Prime Minister, attended, and I don't know if you can see this over here, but he's getting sprayed with something. So somebody in another post says they were jizzing on him as a joke. But anyway, check this out here. Look. Yeah. So he's probably getting sprayed with a squirt gun. This guy here is Secret Service. This guy here is Secret Service. Let's just move it up over here. This guy here is Secret Service. I don't know about this guy. He's not wearing sunglasses, doesn't have an earpiece, so it doesn't look like it. And of course, you got the photographer. So he's surrounded by 3 Secret Service guys. This is a leader of a free country in the West, allowing the public to spray him with something. They could be spraying him with battery acid, and they do nothing about it. Could you imagine somebody like Putin walking down the street and then he gets sprayed with something? Secret Service would take out that guy right away. It's like an absolute no-go zone for most leaders in the world, but it's only in places like Canada where they allow the humiliation of the prime minister. And he's such a little guy. Like, he looks like Burns, Mr. Burns from Simpsons. You know, like even the way that he walks. Like, straighten your back up, bud. Stand up straight. Anyway, awful. It's an absolute joke the way that things are run in certain countries. And I think Canada's, like one of those places that could learn to grow up. Anyway, let's go to my next tab over here. And here, let me grab the call-in link. I usually put it in all the chat. I've already dropped it in YouTube and pinned it at the top. So call in and ask a question. And I'll just kind of spam this from time to time because I know people come in sort of as they come into live shows. So if you want to ask me a question, you just click that link and join the show, and I'll bring you on. We can chop it up. Do you guys know what's happening in South Africa, man? It's crazy. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. So this is a member of parliament in South Africa. And I'm going to play this, but the caption here reads, "We will kill the white man's children. We will kill their women. We will kill anything we find in our way." And again, this is Ndile Mximidimidi, whatever his name is, parliament in South Africa. So check this out. Listen to this guy.
For each one person that is being killed, for each one person that is being killed by the taxi industry, we'll kill 5 white people. For every one black person we'll kill 5 white people. We'll kill one of us, we'll kill 5 of you. We'll kill the children, we'll kill the women, we'll kill anything that we find on our way. They kill one of us, we kill how many? They kill one of us, we kill how many? They kill one of us, we kill how many whites? We kill the children, we kill the women, we kill their dogs, we kill their cats, we kill anything that comes to.
So he's basically saying, one of us die, 5 of you die. We're going to kill your women, your children. He even said towards the end, your dogs and your cats. If you're anywhere near South Africa, guys, just leave. Like, this is the government there. This is how they behave. This is their opinion on you if you're not a Black African. And that's how they get treated. There are a significant population of Dutch white or Caucasians, in South Africa. They usually run a lot of the farms. They kind of just, stick to themselves. And if there's any violence or anything that happens to a domestic South African Black dude, it's usually because they're trying to rob the farm and the farmers are trying to protect themselves. There's a lot of stuff out there on this. It's been going on for years. I was actually really surprised to see this. It showed up in my feed. It was Elon Musk that retweeted it. He said, extremely troubling here because he's from South Africa, but like, stay away from places like this. You cannot fix situations like this. It's not your job. Just leave. Honestly, it's a sad state of affairs because, like, could you imagine a white politician up on a podium with a microphone with people in the audience chanting back because he says, they kill one of us, how many are we going to kill of them? And the entire audience erupts and says 5, right? We're going to kill your women, your children, your dogs, and your cats. Could you imagine a white politician doing that exact same thing? It would not fly. But this is South Africa. This is what they do. Oh, we got Lasagna Killer here again. I think he's called in before. Let's see what Lasagna's got to say. What do you got for me, bud?
What's up, Rich? Okay, so I had an original question, but what you just said, I just want to make a quick, maybe just like an opinion on that.
Sure.
I don't have like a super strong belief because I'm not super well educated on it, but I do think that like, obviously what he said, it's kind of like really messed up, but like South Africa was like, like the apartheid and all that. So, I had a bigger question, but I just wanted, you caught me off guard when you like played that clip. So I just want to say about that. Obviously, it's wrong what he said, but I mean, in the context of like South Africans being like majority black and then being ruled by like whites for like a long period of time, I would see like the anger.
Okay. Did you have a question too?
Yeah. Okay. So the question was about the topic, right? It says MacKenzie Bezos gave away 26 billion and fixed nothing. Okay. So the question with that is, I would agree, but I feel like it's too early to like make that call. So like, let's say if she donated to like causes that help like children that were like born in like very like bad areas, right? You're not gonna be able to like see fruit until they get older, you know?
Is that what you believe?
Yeah, I mean, like, so for example, like as a child, like I had good parents.
I think the criticism was levied because the vast majority of the $26 billion that went out was to woke causes, LGBT, black colleges and universities, climate change activism, gender, women, girls and women sort of causes. That's why there's a lot of criticism that was levied against her. They're not to actually like meaningful cause, like things like climate change. The climate changes throughout history. There's no question about that. Climate does change. We've had warm periods. We've had ice ages. But there's no evidence that we've seen, even with all the shit that's been going on. Like, do you remember the Inconvenient Truth documentary that Al Gore did? When was it? 15 years ago? 20 years ago?
I remember that.
And he was talking about Florida being underwater. Well, Florida's still not underwater, and the coastline's exactly the same. So just about everything they're telling us about climate change is absolute bullshit, but they're still piling in billions and billions of dollars to virtue signal that they're saving the planet. And I think that's the argument that he's making. Like there's better places to allocate vast quantities of wealth like that would have a meaningful impact and change on the world.
Okay, I see. Like, I like your channel because I feel like you're very like logical. Although I feel like we have kind of like stark like political differences. I still like your channel because you're like logical in the way you think. I would say when it comes to like climate change, I would say that like humans relatively like without like Earth's history, we're like really like new, and especially like amount of like CO2 that we're contributing to the atmosphere.
Stop saying like so much, man. You're not going to be taken seriously if you talk to people like that.
Okay, I don't want to be rude, but I think that like when I talk to someone, I try to hone into like the point that they're making, not in the words that they're speaking. It's like in general, the point that I'm making is a good point. That like humans haven't been around for a long time, so it's hard. Like I know what you're saying. Like climate has changed throughout time, but what's happening now is extremely new, so you can't really predict what's going to happen in the future because what's happening
with the
now.
climate that's so bad? Fill me in.
Well, I mean, when you're like polluting the air, you're killing the ozone layer, and then it's going to let more sun go through. The ozone layer is just fine.
The ozone layer is just fine. They've already proven that. So what's going wrong with the environment today that needs to be dealt with, that needs billions of dollars?
But like there's like most scientists agree that there is like damage being done to like the ozone layer because of like pollution to the air, right? Like we're protected by mid-20s.
Yeah, so you're a lot younger than me, and I think in the 1980s and 1990s, I can't remember when it was exactly, but there was a lot of media that was out there that was telling us that we are all going to melt and die because the ozone layer is disappearing, and it's because of aerosol cans. And I remember hairspray was mostly dispensed in compressed aerosol cans, and all the governments passed laws to try to get rid of aerosol cans to fix the ozone layer. The ozone layer hasn't changed. We've switched from plastic straws to paper straws because they found one turtle with a straw stuffed up his nose somehow. And that's supposed to save the environment too, right? It's like all of this, for the most part, is absolute nonsense. Like, tell me where the environment's failing. Why does it need billions of dollars?
Because I do think that humans can affect like the earth as a whole. That's the question. Like that's the
question that humans have an impact on the earth, but where is the environment failing that it needs billions of dollars to remedy it?
Well, the fact that you acknowledge that does that not mean that we are impacting it?
Well, there's always going to be impact from human activity on Earth. We reshape the Earth in many places as we see fit. We build dams to create hydroelectricity, you know, as an obvious example. But where on the Earth do we need to apply billions of dollars to solve climate issues?
So can we agree that like before like the car, it was like a horse, right? And,
Yeah.
the amount of like CO2 that horses produce in cars is it's like
There's no
it's
difference in the
vastly different.
CO2 levels today than what there was 100 years ago.
I think there was, and I
Look it
think
up.
most scientists would conclude this.
No, look it up, man. You're watching mainstream media and you're listening to the woke left.
Okay, wait. I'll look it up because you know I do like I like you because you are logical to a certain extent. If you send me a link, I will look it up and I will look at the source. Right. I'm also really into like sources. Like if I read an article,
Sure,
and then it says like dinosaurs still exists, I'm not gonna just take it at face. I want to know who wrote that article.
okay, fair enough. All right, I'll let you come back with that lasagna. Thanks, bud. All right, cheers. Yeah, climate activism and the billions of dollars that MacKenzie Bezos is spending on things like like the climate changes, guys. It's changed throughout history for millions of years. We've gone through warm cycles and cold cycles and warm cycles and cold cycles. The pole shift, the magnetic pole shift, north and south, right? We get solar flares from the sun. There's all kinds of things that happen to the earth over time. Human beings are not having a strong enough impact to change the climate on the planet itself. Every climate theory, climate change, rising sea levels. There's a video clip. I remember I played it maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and it was pixelated from the 1970s, even like late 70s. You could tell by the haircut and like the studio sort of layout. And it was a collection of newscasters on different stations talking about climate hysteria, acid rain. That was another thing that went around, you know, back in the day when I was a young guy. They were like, oh, acid rain is going to like ruin everything and crops are going to die and it's going to melt the paint on your car. Legit. This is the shit they were saying. Like acid rain is going to melt the paint on your car and you're going to die and we're not going to have crops. There's no acid rain. Acid rain's gone. There's no such thing as acid rain. Same thing with AIDS. You know, they said back in the day, oh, everybody's going to die from AIDS, right? And it's like, yeah, you know, some people get it, but it's not a common thing. It's very uncommon. There's all this hysterical things that the government will throw at you. Leaders, you know, the World Economic Forum now today has been a big thing. Like this whole COVID scamdemic that happened several years ago was all bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. There's people dying from turbo cancer today from all the fuckery that, you know, went on during that time. The vast majority, and this is the point of the show, guys, you know, for guys like Lasagna that are like, yeah, Rich, I like you, you're logical and all this sort of stuff. But the point of the show is to unplug you from society's comforting lies. And the vast majority of shit that you're getting from the outside sources out there, from the mainstream media, from your political leaders, is not designed to assist you, help you, or improve your life. It's more designed to scare you, instill fear, and make you stupid and basically sheep, right? Remember when they put dots everywhere and they said, you got to stand on your dots? You know, sheeple, the dot standing people all sit on their dots and they wore masks. And you go to a fucking restaurant and you'd have to wear a mask to walk to your table because COVID was up here when you were walking to your table. But when you sat down, there's no COVID down here. You take the mask off and eat your food. COVID only existed up here. Are you unplugging and seeing the code in the matrix, guys? Right? Like I try to convey these concepts and points to you, sometimes with comedy, sometimes a little terse. I get it. But the point being is, ask why, be critical. And I can tell you flat out, the vast majority of the shit that MacKenzie Bezos is throwing the billions of dollars at is not going to have a meaningful impact to improve society, culture, any of those. It's just like the woke virtue signaling nonsense, right? Throw it on this cause, on that cause. The vast majority of the causes that I mentioned are all nonsense. And that was the criticism levied by Elon Musk, is it doesn't improve society, it doesn't improve culture. And it's like all these, you know, divorced billionaire wives that hate their husbands and they hate society and culture will go and take all that money that they've, you know, robbed from the family coffers, And they just blow it because they have billions. They just blow it on stupid shit. Oh, let's send a bunch of billions to, this girl's cause. Let's go send a bunch of billions to this, made up issue that apparently needs some money. Let's go send some billions to this thing. And it's like, that was his point. The vast majority of it is absolute nonsense. Anyway, let's move on here. And I want to share a James Sexton clip over here where he's talking about divorce. James Sexton, here we go. Let's have a look.
Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Most of the marriages I know, okay, the man provides financially. He protects, right? Yeah. He's also there to be part of the family dynamic, taking care of kids, doing the things that he can do. What does the woman bring? She brings love, affection, a little bit of sweetness at the end of the day, sex. She brings, taking care of kids. Okay. If you get divorced, every single thing on that side of the man equation, he can be compelled to do by the power of the state. And if he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing on that other side, the female side, is enforceable at law. The court cannot order her to be nice to you, to fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't. They can't force that. So when you have a contract where only one side of it is enforceable with the power of the state and the other side is not, my attitude is, why don't we then just have an honest conversation about what we could both be afraid of and what value we want to attribute.
But the court can't force you to protect your wife, and the court can't force you to make money
economically,
for your family.
they can force you to. They can force you to protect somebody. You can, like, I've had cases where the court says, okay, this person needs a security detail. If it's a celebrity, they say these kids are going to need security for when they go to school, things like that.
But the average person, like, can the court say you have to work to a dad?
Well, what the courts say is Lincoln freed the slaves. If your financial status at the moment you were getting divorced determined what your obligations were, everybody quit their fucking job the minute they were getting divorced.
Right.
So what the courts say is, like, if you're a brain surgeon who now I'm getting divorced, I decided I want to be a fucking yoga teacher.
Right.
The court goes, look, Lincoln freed the slaves. We can't make you be a brain surgeon. You're just going to be you're going to be a yoga teacher who has the financial obligations of a brain surgeon.
Oh, wow.
So they impute an income to you.
Oh, weird.
And they'll say, whatever you do for a living, it's fine. We can't force you to work, but we can give you financial obligations commensurate with your earning capacity, even if you're not earning at that capacity.
Wow.
Which is actually really fucked up sometimes. Yeah. Like, I had a client once who was an air traffic controller. And if you know anything about air traffic controllers, like, you can have a high school education, be an air traffic controller, make like $300,000-400 grand a year.
Wow.
Like, you can do really, really well. Well, this guy, his mother passed away. He was very close with her. He had a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression from it, and he had to go on medication, psychiatric medication, to, like, sort of deal with it. You're not allowed to be on benzodiazepines or certain psychiatric medications while you're in air traffic control, so he was terminated from his position. The next best job this guy could get, he made about $50,000 a year, but the court was like, no.
You still got to.
Your earning capacity is $350,000 a year. That's what you made. And we were like, Judge, what job can this guy get where he's going to make that amount of money? So it can sometimes, this is how guys end up in jail for not paying.
So what do you do?
It's not their fault.
So what do you do?
He suffered, basically. Yeah. I mean, he had a very unfair child support award placed against him. He ended up in jail a couple of times. It was a really,
because he was, like, selling drugs or something to make the money.
No, he just was not. He didn't pay his support. It's illegal to not pay child support. You can be put in jail.
That's like the axe that I want to grind with James Sexton. Is he's often talking in some of his clips about, marriage doesn't really work. I've been doing divorce law for years. It's a very poor instrument. It's got a very high failure rate. But when you get married and it's like a good marriage, it's like the best thing ever. So you got to sometimes just roll the dice and give it a try. And it's like, I get it. It's like part of the business model. You want to make sure you've got a constant flow of traffic, of customers. You have to kind of encourage it. But there's several other divorce lawyers that I know. I mean, mine personally, Jonathan Noble's another guy that I've had on the show a few times. He's a good dude. None of them ever encourage guys to get married or ever get married again. And I'd like to hear more consistency from Sexton on that. But the point that he's making basically is, like, your obligation to take care of her can be enforced by family law. Family law does not enforce her being nice to you, being friendly to you, having sex with you, being sweet to you, making sure that, she's facilitating good access to your kids. What it facilitates, like what it creates, is an environment where you're robbed of your wealth. It goes to her. She usually uses it to alienate you from your own children, and you're fighting the whole time over this entire thing. The point that he made about the air traffic controller is a fantastic one. I've had this covered. There's usually something that comes up every couple months that's another framed. It's in the same context. Guy works as an air traffic controller. He's making $400,000 a year. Mom dies, goes on meds, can't work. He gets fired from his job because of that. But then he's forced to pay at his earning rate, the $400,000 a year, not what he's making after he tries to get a job. And that's absolute nonsense, right? I mean, I get that that you've got kids, and the children certainly do deserve to be looked after. But, where are all these strong, independent women, when it comes to divorce? Why aren't they standing on their own feet, getting a job and making sure that they look after themselves, right? If something happens to the guy and he can't earn at that top rate anymore, for whatever reason, the courts are still enforcing him to pay at that top rate. And there's been a number of examples of this. I mean, this is again why I said in my first book, smart men don't marry, right? I've covered it many a times. People still go out and do, people are going to do what they're going to do, right? People are going to think what they're going to think. And it's heavily ingrained in the culture and society right off the bat that it is the go-to thing. Just like with our friend Lasagna, who called in just earlier, he opened up with the whole thing about, well, it's unfair. The whites, ran black society in South Africa, blah, blah, blah. Show me a video clip. Show me a video of a white politician 30 years ago that was talking about murdering black people and their women and their children and their dogs and their cats. Show it to me. I'd love to have a look at that. You guys know how to find me on social media. You've got my email at the end of it. Send it to me. I mean, look, I'm open to seeing this evidence. Like, let's chop it up, right? Let's go on to the next tab over here. And again, that call-in link, guys, it's pinned at the top of your YouTube, so you can do that. There's a post here. It looks like it's a Reddit post. I'm just going to read it to you. I don't need to put up on the screen, but it says here in the title, Love Island brainwashed my girlfriend into thinking peaceful relationships are bad. It says here, my ex became entirely obsessed with the TV show Love Island, watching it daily and treating its toxic challenges as real life relationships milestones. I don't know what Love Island is all about. I've seen enough of these relationship reality TV shows to know that they're all dog shit. And they all follow the same path, right? Female primary social order. Let's bend the knee, worship her. You get the idea. Standard stuff. Anyway, she started manufacturing random, unnecessary drama just to see if I would fight for her, openly stating that a secure, peaceful relationship meant we lacked true passion. When she eventually left to chase an unstable guy who treats her like garbage, she claimed she was just following her heart. Love Island isn't just a show, it's a softcore propaganda convincing an entire generation that lust is love, loyalty is optional, and attention is currency. It directly brainwashes viewers into equating constant relationship chaos with romance, completely destroying their ability to value stability and actual commitment. I've said this before, guys. If you're dealing with a chick and she's got a addiction, it's one of the red flags. Red flag number 19 and 20, drama queens and addictions. A lot of women are addicted to certain shows. I remember when I was younger, there was a lot of women that were all about Sex in the City. That was a TV show about, 3 or 4 women. I can't remember what it was. They would basically run around New York City having a good time, banging a bunch of different guys, talking about the relationships, boss girling it up, doing their marketing job and all that sort of stuff. And that's when things really started to shift. What was it, 90s, I would say? I don't know. But that's when things really started to shift and women started to, behave a lot more differently, being influenced that strongly by TV shows. Now it's TV shows and social media doing the exact same thing. If you're dealing with a chick, if you're dating a chick, guys, and she's obsessed with TV shows, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Love Island, whatever the bullshit happens to be. What's the other one where they're like blindfolded? Love is Blind. It's all the same nonsense. It's all the same horseshit. Not a good scene. I would have a word first and just, say something along the lines of, hey, look, I just don't take women seriously that are into this type of genre of consumables, because she's getting it from her phone, she's getting it from a screen, she's getting it from a TV show or whatever it happens to be. I just don't take them seriously. So I just can't be in a relationship with a chick like that if that's your thing, right? You're better off walking away. And, you know, people will go, but Rich, you know, it's a little bit harsh, you know, it's just entertainment. No, I don't buy that. You're going to reap what you sow. You know, you put shitty fuel in the gas tank, you're going to have a shitty car, right? Like, it's not going to run right. Smarten up. Speaking of hobbies and chicks, because we kind of covered this a little bit earlier, this is a great little clip. You know, guys, I'm a big car dude. I like fast stuff. So I shared this here. This is a clip. It says POV, she's not the one. And I captioned this. I said, dump any chick that shits on your hobbies. Check this out.
Oh, babe, can I do it?
Whatever, I guess. Sure. Okay.
Now, I'm just going to pause there for a second. That looks like a C7 ZR1 Corvette. You guys correct me in the comments if you think I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a C7 ZR1 Corvette. 650, 700 horsepower. I don't know. It's probably got a shit ton of power. She's sitting here in the car, arms crossed, looking at the window while he's having the time of his life. And by the way, guys, you don't ask a woman permission to do shit like this. Oh, babe, can I do it? Because he ends up in an open intersection. He wants to, you know, light up the tires and, you know, do some donuts. But watch how she's reacting here.
You gotta grow up one day, Johnny. You gotta grow up.
Oh, you gotta grow up someday. You gotta grow up.
Now, the way he handled that there, just mocking her, you gotta grow up someday, you gotta grow up, like that, that's fine. I mean, you know, you can do that.
You gotta grow up.
I'll grow up in first and second. Oh my God!
She hates the guy. You can tell by her behavior, by her mannerisms. She's literally disgusted by the guy. Just get rid of her. Just replace her and find a chick that doesn't shit on your hobbies. Whatever your hobby happens to be, if it's a pursuit that's natural for men to chase, have her roll with it or fuck off. It basically boils down to that. Now, if you're a weirdo and you like lock people up in your basement, you wear their, you know, skin as clothing, like, you know, you know what I'm talking about, like Silence of the Lambs or whatever the fuck that was. That's obviously, you know, a serious issue that you've got to deal with. And she's probably right, judging you in that sense of regard. But if you like riding motorcycles, you hang out with your boys, you do outdoor trips, boating, planes, driving cars, rallies, whatever the fuck it happens to be, if it's a natural, organic, male pursuit, it's something that you like doing, fuck her right off. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on your ass on the way out of it. It'll be locked if you try to come back in. It's as simple as that. Your hobbies are your thing. You do not drop your hobbies for a chick to please or placate her. Sell your car to make her happy because you got to buy this, that, or the other thing. Enjoy your hobbies, boys. Don't let women steal that stuff from you. You know, they've said that women are dream killers. And it's not that women kill your dreams, gentlemen. It's that you allow them. It's very simple. You allow them. Don't allow them to kill your dreams. If you enjoy certain things and it lights you up and you lose track of time when you're doing it, don't do it. All right, let's go to the next tab here. I have talked about the book Estrogen before. I have had Dr. Anthony J on my podcast at least twice. He's a regular contributor to my men's community, the School of Unplugging, on a monthly basis now. There's 6 recordings on the School of Unplugging in the classroom tab with him, where he does 1-hour Zooms on everything from thyroid function to cholesterol. He's a very, very smart dude. I had him speak at my conference the last 2 years as well. He's talked about the issue with sunscreens. There's a lot of sources of environmental estrogens that disrupt the human endocrine system. Okay, the endocrine system's all your hormones, estrogen, testosterone, SHBG, all that kind of shit. And he said for years now that basically sunscreens, which are chock full of things called benzones. It's first it was oxybenzone, then they're like it's oxybenzone free, but then it's got some other shit ingredient that also ends in benzone, which is still harmful for you. The only sunscreen that you can wear is a zinc oxide product. I'm going to show you this clip over here because the single largest sunscreen skin cancer study ever conducted found that sunscreen users face dramatically higher risks of every major skin cancer. I'm going to share this up on a screen. You can watch this clip. It's a news clip, it seems here. And by the way, like this is the kind of stuff that plugged in guys like Lasagna would oppose, right? It's like the mainstream media says wear sunscreen when you go outside. So they'll go out and they'll get the sports sunscreen and it says totally safe, oxybenzone free or some shit like that. You spray it all over your shit. Dr. J has found that when you put that shit on your skin, it disrupts your endocrine system, your hormone, not for hours or a day, but for 6 fucking days. This poison ruins your endocrine system. Check this out. I highly recommend you guys check out the book Estrogen by Anthony J. If you're in my community, make sure you watch on the Classroom tab his Zoom lectures because they're fucking priceless.
Have I been lied to as a Florida man about sunscreen protecting me from cancer?
Yes, it appears we've all been lied to, unfortunately. This massive study of over 470,000 people confirms it. It's very worrisome that when they compared sunscreen users to non-sunscreen users, the sunscreen users faced...
I know that one of the protesting points that a lot of people make is like, but zinc oxide makes you look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. So fucking what? So what? At least you're not fucking up your hormone panel and reducing your testosterone, right? Because people are like, oh, well, it's got to go on clear. It's got to be simple. And the problem with society is we're all like, oh, you got to rub a cream under your eye and I want to wipe away wrinkles in like, a week. 10 years of wrinkles. I want them to go, I want to pop a pill and lose 20 pounds in a week as well. Like this is what people want. They want instant shit. This is what marketers prey on.
Increased risks of all the major skin cancers, melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, and basal cell carcinoma. So all of these cancers were...
And it's not even a small percentage. It's up 292%, 258%. It's huge. It's big.
But the most worrisome finding was that invasive melanoma was 300% higher risk in the sunscreen users. They accounted for skin color, time spent outdoors, and many other things, sex, age, and they still found these increased risks of the cancers. So when you use sunscreen all the time, you're blocking your body's ability to synthesize vitamin D, which is critical for cancer defense. So you do not want to shut that off. A JAMA study just came out and found all of those active ingredients in the sunscreens get into your circulation. They get into your body above FDA.
Your skin is porous. People think that you can just put some soap on it, just wash it off, right? Your skin's porous. It absorbs everything. It's the largest organ in your body.
Regulatory limits. So what I would say is avoid sunscreens if you really have to use it. If you'll be out in the sun for 6 hours, midsummer day, you still want to use something. I would use zinc-based sunscreen, not oxybenzone, none of those hormone-disrupting chemicals.
Basically, what it boils down to, guys, is anything that isn't zinc oxide based is shit and poison for you. So you heard it here. I've been talking about it for years. I've had Dr. J on several times on podcasts. We've gotten into the details. I've recommended his book, Estrogen. You can get it on Audible. You can get it on Amazon. It's a fantastic read. He also does really good DNA consults. He's helped me out personally. He's helped out hundreds of guys in my community. Check it out. And if you're interested in joining the community, top left of your screen, just scan that QR code and hop on in and get some work done on the inside with the guys that are doing that. In this week, we've also have another update. So the sovereign, the crown, the English monarchy His Majesty King Charles III has betrayed his oath to be the defender of the faith. Changing the definition of the one true Christian faith to a globalist multi-faith is treason. So if you guys haven't heard, and here's a quick clip of him. Hold on a second. The British monarchy. He's all dressed up in his multi-faith garb here. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on here, but king to protect multi-faith nation in revised definition of monarchy. Used to be like head of the church, right? The Church of England. Not anymore. Now it's a multi-faith nation. See, it's these like, you know how I talk about betatization through 1,000 concessions in my first book, Unplugged Alpha? Get it? Women will put men through betatization through 1,000 concessions in a relationship. It's not a question of if it's going to happen, it's to what extent. Okay, it happens to every guy. It'll happen to you. It'll happen to me. It'll probably happen less to me than it happens to most of you guys out there until you level up and you figure out your shit. But betatization by 1,000 concessions, like death by 1,000 paper cuts. This is what they do. When I say they, because there's us versus them. That's the way the world's always worked. It's always been an us versus them sort of strategy, tribes, gangs, whatever you want to call it. Jack Donovan, author of The Way of Men, talks about the way of men as the way of the gang. By the way, Jack Donovan will be speaking at my event in February. I'll be dropping links to that in the coming weeks. I've already pre-sold it to my community at the discounted rate. I'll offer it to you guys in public. You can come out and meet some of the speakers, myself, and a bunch of the other community members. But the way of men is the way of the gang. It's always been an us versus them thing. And what they are always trying to do is to just blanket pussify and soften the West, right? Let's get them more compliant. Let's get them more agreeable. Let's blend everything in, right? Let's get everybody to sort of like work together a little bit more. And you think that that's a good thing. I always thought it was a good thing when I was a younger guy until I unplugged and I realized, no, men are tribal. Humans are tribal. We've always been tribal. We're a warring species. You know, we're always going to be hostile to things that don't act like and move like us. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to forget. For those that follow a faith, I don't follow any religion myself personally. I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to get better versed on them all because I seek to understand. You know, if I can put it that way. But I don't subscribe to any organized religion because most of them are doing stupid shit like this, right? They'll put a prostitute at the head of the church, or you know, like as a pastor, or something like that, like a former OnlyFans model. I think I might have a tab on that coming up here, but they'll do some weird shit that I don't agree with. And if the monarchy's job has always been to be the head of the Church of England, then that's it. That's the fucking deal. And that's how you maintain society, cohesion, the English, you know what I mean? Like, I want to go to the United Kingdom and I want to visit Scotland and see the Scottish, right? I want to go to Ireland and I want to see the Irish. I want to, you know, if I want to go and see the King of England, I want to see the head of the church, you know, the king of the English church, you know, if you know what I'm saying. But now it's multi-faith nation. It's been revised. And all these little revisions, they may not seem like much, like, oh, it's fine. What's the big deal, Rich? Who cares? No. All these little revisions, all these little paper cuts, all these little betatization through 1,000 concessions soften and weaken and change the very fabric of society. And it's not in the right direction. It's in the wrong direction. Hang on, I got a guy here that wants to hop in. Timothy, give me a sec, Timothy. Close that window. All right, you're on the air. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Rich, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, how you doing? I'm kind of, a long-term listener, but first-time caller.
Okay.
And I had two questions. One question is kind of business-related, and the other question is kind of check-related.
Let's do business first. I like business.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm in trades. All right. So I'm a furniture upholsterer. I've been doing this stuff for kind of almost 5 years.
Okay.
And me and my brother, we're both furniture upholsterers. So combined, we have almost a decade, like 10 years of experience.
Cool.
So, and we want to start like, we're furniture cleaning business because it's kind of there's less overhead, lower startup costs, stuff like that, and pretty much, I want to just like, get the ball rolling and, kind of make like, what you can make like in a day of work, just like, few hours, like, basically doing a cleanup job or stuff like that.
Sure.
So, and my question is, how would I go about like getting customers when I have no, social media exposure and, basically nobody knows about me?
Yeah, you have to have social media exposure today if you run a business. I don't think there's a question about it. You have to do it. I mean, there's certain businesses that don't do well on social media. I'll be absolutely honest with you. My debt settlement business, like a social media presence talking about settling debt and getting people out of debt, it's not sexy. It's not attractive. It doesn't really work. But there are certain businesses that can get a little bit more momentum on social media. I think reupholstery and upholstery cleaning. You know what, man? It's funny that you bring it up because on the gal side of my family, we have a reupholstery business, a very successful one.
Okay.
So it's not a Cooper business. It's on the gal side. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to bother people with it. And it does really, really well, but they've been around for a long time. They've been doing this. I think it was my grandfather or was it the uncle? I don't know. I can't remember, but it's been around for a long time. If you stick with it, there's a lot of really nice old furniture out there that needs maintenance, that needs work. That's where a lot of the money's made. That's where I've seen them make most of the money. I understand cleaning furniture and cleaning things is more of a service-based thing that's a little bit quicker and might have higher turnaround and better profit margins. But what you can do is you can share on social media something like, before and after, right? Like people love seeing, like one of the things that I'll see a lot of in my social feed now, because I'm a bald man with a beard, is the algorithms figured out that I'll watch a video with a bald man with a beard and I'll see a guy with a shitty beard before, and then you see like the cleanup and then the beard after, and it's like, okay, that's interesting. I kind of like that style. And sometimes, when I'm at my barber, I'm like, hey, do this sort of thing over here. So having a before and after is a really good way to market it on social media. And then beyond that, I would also have placement on Facebook Marketplace because it's free to market there. And you could capture people's attention for keywords like reupholstering furniture, whatever it is you want to specialize, ottomans, couches, whatever it is that you think is the most profitable, but show in the feed regular, work being done before and after, if it's a cleanup before and after, if it's a reupholster job before and after sort of thing, and then encourage them to engage it sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like you've got to use social media now if it comes to running any kind of business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. You just, about upholstery, this is kind of like on the side of a luxury kind of type of service, like, because a lot of people would just prefer to go to IKEA, get a, couch.
Yeah, but the IKEA customer is not your customer. Your customer has like a hand-me-down or something they bought at a garage sale that's heavy, it's solid wood, it's valuable. Like the reupholstering of it would make absolute sense. That's who you want to target. And then you may might want to get involved in some of the like groups that do, I don't know, who is it that makes really nice handmade furniture? What is it, the Mennonites or the Amish or something? They have entire, communities that do stuff like this.
Oh, I don't know what Amish is, but maybe they
Where do you live?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay. So if there's communities of people that specialize in high quality handmade furniture, then you want to get involved into those communities. If there's a trade event, if there's a conference, if there's a show, like you have to make your name known. You know what I mean? Like I spent 10 years making Total Debt Freedom's name known, putting it everywhere that I could in social media, right? Even though I didn't get the best response to it because people don't really care about debt. Like they're a lot more interested in red meat, if I can put it that way.
Right.
And your second
and the thing you said about your, okay, yeah. Let me hop on that real quick. So,
sure.
I live, next to this girl. She's my neighbor, right? So, she's very beautiful. She's my age, she's into fitness. She's kind of, a fitness coach for women,
Okay.
And I got to know her like maybe, what is it, 8 months, maybe 7, 8 months ago, like around the time that I moved in. And the thing is, she got a boyfriend.
Okay.
And so the reason even I'm asking, this kind of question is because she was kind of, at least like seems to me, she was kind of sending me like mixed signals, right? So she would bring me like, food, like, cook me sometimes, like, or her mom's food, like she was saying like, oh, my mom, like, gave me some stuff, like, you want this, you want that, like, and I'm kind of, questioning myself, like, why would she do that? Like, she got a boyfriend, why
Did you ask
why
her
wouldn't
out?
she, like, huh?
Did you ask her out when she was being friendly and bringing you food and engaging
I
you?
mean, yeah, kind of,
No,
sort
there's
of
no
asked her
kind of,
out,
man.
like,
It's either like, yeah, I asked her out or I didn't. So
no,
did
I
you
mean,
ask her out?
no, I didn't ask her out like directly because, I knew she got
Okay.
a boyfriend, and that dude is like
Oh,
big,
she had a boyfriend when she was bringing you food and stuff.
she still got a boyfriend. She still got a boyfriend. She still, this weekend she gave me like, some stuff. So I'm kind of
Well,
wondering if
it's
she's
not.
just like, we should just be nice or like, what is it?
No,
What is it all
I
about?
mean, women aren't just nice to random people. They're only fucking
Right.
nice to pieces of shit and woke causes. Let me put it this way, man. If she's got a boyfriend and she's bringing you food and she's super friendly, she's definitely got an interest on you. I don't know if you've heard the stat, but 50% of women admit to having a backup plan that are in relationships and marriages. And they're always trying to foster connections and these opportunities for themselves. So it's like, the term monkey branching, right? They want to move from one guy to the next guy sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
She's probably priming you up for a potential monkey branch if it doesn't work out with the guy that she's with. That would be my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of, thought the same thing, but, me comparing myself, to that dude, like, I'm, that dude is a lot bigger, and probably makes, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what he makes, but maybe something similar or more than I do, but so
Sure.
I just kind of,
well, there's no
thinking,
such
like,
thing as a mixed signal. If a woman goes out of her way to do things for you or to engage you, she has an interest in you. That doesn't mean that she's going to go out with you, that she's going to fuck you, that she's going to leave her boyfriend for you or any of those things. All that means is that she's genuinely expressing interest in you. What you do with that or where you take that next is entirely up to you. But I mean, I'm not about, banging guys, girls, so I wouldn't encourage, trying to work on that, but that's up to you.
All right, I got it. All right. Okay, appreciate it.
Cool, man.
All
Nice
right,
talking.
take care.
All right. Bye. Let me get DL Saint on so I get back to the rest of my tabs. DL, what's up, buddy?
What's happening, brother? How you
Good
feeling?
to see you. How do you like the book?
Just started. Just cracked the spine today, as a matter of fact. I had a lot of people asking me about Dr. Show's book, that sex extinction thing. So I powered through that. And I'll probably be done with this tomorrow. I'll probably be done with it tomorrow. So I'll let you know how. I know I'm gonna like it, but I'll let you know. I'll send out the
awesome.
Like hit up Amazon and let you know how I feel. How you feeling, brother? Good to see you.
Good, man. What do you got for me tonight?
That's what's happening, man. Yeah, so you're 100% correct about the 90s being that turning point with the boss babe thing and the no more, that walk of shame went away, like women being super sexualized and becoming boss babes. It was definitely mid to late 90s is when that hit. Sex in the City, all those other shows.
Yeah.
I thought that
Strong,
was a
independent
great
woman sort
point
of
you made
avatar.
there, man. I wish more. Yeah. And then, then the hypergamy kicks in, and that's, kind of gets us to where we are now. And it's the thing with religion, same thing, right? I'm the same thing when it comes to religion, bro. I'm very spiritual, but I don't subscribe to anyone's religion because in my mind, religion is created by man, therefore it's flawed. So for me to really find, I've always looked, even as a little kid, I'm in church every day, and my family drugged me to church. I was in like church all day Sunday, and like vacation Bible school and all this kind of stuff. And the whole time I'm like, this is too easy. I mean, if it should be more like a quest, kind of like, Arthur and his knights trying to find the truth. It shouldn't be real easy. And I've always taken that tact, and that's where I've been with it. I read about as many religions as I can, try to talk to folks, and I find the similarities, and I tend to I dwell there. You know what I mean? You know, there's some religions out there that are too far out. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I stay in the middle. But I did want to ask you this. I don't know if you saw this, but Byron Allen. I don't know if you know who he is. That's the guy who, former comedian turned billionaire. He bought the Weather Channel down here in the States, and
don't know him.
He's like, certified billionaire. Look him up. He purchased BuzzFeed and all of it affiliate businesses. You know, Huffington Post and some other stuff.
Okay.
And his goal, his whole purpose in doing this, is to compete with YouTube. He wants to invest in the infrastructure in BuzzFeed, switch it up. He wants to make it a platform that's a legit competition for YouTube. He doesn't think he can beat YouTube, but he kind of wants to do the whole Pepsi Coke thing. What's your take on that?
There's a few competitors that have tried to take out YouTube over the years, and they never really seem to get anywhere close to it. YouTube is still the main place to be discovered and where content's consumed. Long form for sure. I don't see anybody taking YouTube down anytime soon. But the fact that there's more competition like Rumble and Kick and all these other streaming platforms, that's a good thing. It's just, I wish a guy like Elon Musk would buy YouTube, right? Because that would make it way more free, like a free speech platform, which is fine. I mean, like, I actually get more views on X now because when I stream live, so I use StreamYard, like, I think you know that, but you know, when you stream live and you go on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, X, all that sort of stuff, X gets more views than YouTube.
Wow. Yeah. But X doesn't really have the same payout. Does it have the same reach?
No, there's no payout with that.
As far as
it's bullshit. It's bullshit payout.
Yeah. It is. So my take on it was, you know, here's a billionaire, legit billionaire with billionaire friends and access, you know, to extra funds. I'm like, there's no way you're going to take out YouTube. You just can't do it. They're too massive. But you might force them to play fair. You might put a little heat on them to their, we're going to stop.
That's the upside to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm checking into it. And
video platform like YouTube will exist in like 20 years. Honestly, man, I'm waiting for StreamYard to integrate super chats and donations into it, because rather than tie it into YouTube where it's in their ecosystem and they take, like, I don't know, whatever it is, like 55%, they take a fat stack of the fucking ad revenue, super chats or whatever. StreamYard needs to integrate like some kind of a donation or a super chat or whatever it happens to be, and only take a small percentage, which is all they'll need, and then just plug that in, right? Like there's competition out there. It's just it needs to mobilize and work a little bit faster and better, and it's coming. It's just I'm now a content creator, right? Like, I'm not going to build another platform to try to compete with YouTube, but I see what they're doing out there, and I see these things coming.
Same here, bro. And I'm a big networker. I'm huge on networking. It just turns out someone I'm close to, I was, you know, seeing this. I sent it to a friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, man, look at this. This is going to be really good." And he says, "I just had lunch with Byron yesterday."
Okay.
And in my mind, I'm blown away. I'm like, "Oh, you know,
what's the guy's name? Byron what?
So, Byron Allen. Byron Allen. Check him out. Just,
he said he was stand-up comic.
You know, Byron. He started in comedy, doing Leno and all that. He was, you know, a legit comic. I mean, he wasn't elite, but he was doing his thing. Got into mainstream media. Yeah, he got into mainstream media. Started, interviewing all the big people, and then he bought the Weather Channel. He owns the Weather Channel, and he's done a lot of stuff. I didn't know exactly what was up with him. Of course, I did a deep dive, as deep as I could go. And I mean, he seems legit. Doesn't seem like a dummy. Obviously he pulled himself up from nowhere to billionaire status. You're doing something right. So
$1 billion is a lot of money.
Man. So hey, it is a lot of money. You know, look into it, brother. And I tell you what, I if I can get in the room with these people, I mean, I'm always hollering your name. It's a bunch of people I'm always talking about. You're always in that conversation because they're going to be looking for content creators with the following. Oh, come on, bro. I got to, man. You know what I mean? Your work is outstanding, bro. So I'll keep you posted. If anything comes of it, I'm not saying anything will, but you never know. If something comes of it, you'll hear from me. And the last thing, where's your event? You doing it up north of the border where you are? Or you coming down here?
Dallas. We're gonna do it in Dallas, and I have the sales page and everything for people to buy tickets. I'll dig it up and I'll drop it at the end of the show. I didn't think about to integrate it into the show just yet, but I've got the sales page, so you guys can buy tickets now if you want.
That's what's up. I'll do my best to get there. Dallas, I'll check out the dates if I'm free. I mean, yeah, I love to come out. You know what I mean? Shake your hand.
It's in February next
year.
So
take care.
Thanks, man. See ya. All right, let's continue on here with the tabs. Got a super chat here. Let me deal with Robin. The obsession with sports is getting out of control. I mean, you guys know my take if you followed me for a while. I don't watch sports. I just don't. I don't think it's a good use of my time to watch other men on a pitch chase excellence. I always thought it was really funny when you like see guys with their girls and they have like Toronto Maple Leafs jersey with, I don't know, Matt Sundin's name on the back, and his girl's got the same jersey with Matt Sundin's name on her back. And it's like, that's your girlfriend or wife, and she's wearing the jersey of another man with his name on her back. Are you gay? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you? It's just weird. And sitting there watching other people play a game, a professional game, I don't know, maybe there's some entertainment value for some people. I just don't see it. I watch very little sports, man. Like, I'll watch a fight from time to time if it's somebody that I'm interested in. I rarely watch Formula One racing. Maybe if I'm hanging out with family or something like that, it's on the TV, then I'll watch it. I'd rather watch the Netflix series, what's called Drive to Survive or some shit like that, because it covers the race, but it also covers everything that happens behind the scenes, you know, with the drivers, the team management, all that sort of stuff. I find that a lot more interesting than watching a sporting match. It's boring to me. Okay, let's continue on here because I got about half an hour and I want to tear through some of this here. Let me see. So much to cover. Oh, we got a Tate clip here. Let's have a listen to Andrew preach because he's so on point with most of his stuff. Women have destroyed society. Let's have a listen to his rant here.
Females now, their minds are toast. They cannot resist the psyop. Women can't resist external pressures. Mentally, they're not strong enough to resist them, which is why they're conformists, which is why they've destroyed society. And if you look at women and you look at their algorithms and the social media they read and they watch, they're toast. Every single woman is being poisoned from the inside out by social media. Every single one. You look at any girl's algo, it's just video 1. If he wanted to, he would. Video 2. You're special. You deserve this. Video 3. Some prostitute with a G-Wagon full of roses. Video 4. Whore on a private jet. Video 5. Some super simp man. Some husband who's super obsessed with his wife and hugging her and kissing her. And I can't live without you. It's like, this is fucking mind poison. This is bullshit. And then these women lose their fucking minds to the point where the social contract is completely broken. The social contract is this. I put up with you. I put up with you and I pay for you and I keep you alive. So you're nice to me and do as I say. That's the social contract. But that's broken now. Women are like, pay for me, entertain me. I don't listen to nobody. The fuck? Why would I pay a member of staff who doesn't listen to me? If you don't do your job, you get fired. Social contracts completely toast, and it's because of these algos. Females.
Yeah. Stay away from chicks that are addicted to social media. I'm telling you guys, like, no good comes out of that. It's just not, it's not a good scene. You're never going to find a really good chick that's addicted to social media and the shit that feeds their mind with their nonsense. I would rather have a chick that's like on social media looking at like baking recipes or something like that, like learning how to make nutritious fucking food to feed me, rather than, you know, the standard stuff that, you know, Tate was talking about. Yeah, that's what they'll see. I mean, if you look over the shoulder of a chick that's on social media, it's like, you're the best, nobody can be better than you, go girl power. like LGBTQ plus, save the environment, girls fucking, donation for some charity cause of gender transforming thing in a Lebanon mountain ski lodge or some shit like that. That's the point that he's making, right? Like, you don't want to be around chicks that are addicted to social media. Be very, very careful with that. I just want to throw this comment up here and deal with Rich Caldo's here. He says, sports is an escape from life. And if you watch Tom Brady, he'll lead you to excellence. No, he won't. He will not lead you to excellence. Tom Brady was a great football player. I can honestly say I've never watched a single game with him playing it. I just don't watch fucking sports because I don't fucking care. It's not a good use of my time to sit around watching a screen of men chasing it. They're not going to lead you to excellence. Okay. What will lead you to excellence is understanding these fucking concepts here in these books, paying attention to the stuff that I'm talking about and listening and absorbing it and applying it to your life. Let me show you an example of the nonsense of what happens when a woman doesn't marry her first choice. We've talked about women not marrying their first choice many a times here. And this is what they post on social media. Haley Kim, I recently got married, ! So excited. I love my husband. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. To be honest, I don't like wearing my rings because it gets in my hair and lifting and washing dishes. Maybe I should get my ring finger tattooed, still figure it out, blah, blah, blah. This is the kind of shit they put on their man's face when they don't marry their first choice. Let's hide him from public. Be very, very careful with chicks that aren't proud of you guys. You want a chick that says to you, hey, Rich, did you eat yet? I've got a warm plate I can feed you with. Hey, Rich, I found these boxers when I was shopping. I think they'd look good on you here. That's what you want a chick to be like, right? You don't want these fucking broads that are putting, things over your face when they're doing their social media posts to try to get, virtue signal to the world with their nonsense. I got a Huberman clip over here where he's talking. Oops. For some reason, it just autoplays. I hate it when they post this shit that just autoplays. All right, I'm going to put it up on the screen. I got to pull it back to take it to the start. But there's data here now that says that men are, for the most part, the ones to first say, I love you, and first ask for exclusivity. So let's have a listen here.
Kind of the same. Men are always a little bit more eager than women.
Eager in what sense?
Eager in all the ways. I want to be in this relationship in the first place. I'm more likely to say I love you first. I'm more likely to want to be exclusive. I'm more likely to want to take things to the next level.
Men are more willing to do that.
Men
this
across
runs
the board.
countercurrent to all this stuff about men being non-committed.
There's like new review papers on this that are really compelling. And it's like kind of the same effect size across the board, which is how we talk about, how big is the sex difference? It's medium size, but it's just right there all the way through breaking up. Who's more likely to want to break up? It's women who are more likely to want to break up. The reason put forward for this, I find it very compelling. That's because men just don't quite have their social lives put together in the same way that.
It's not that men don't have their social lives put together in the same way that women do, as he's implying. The problem is simps. The problem is most men are uncalibrated, plugged in beta males. I would estimate 80 to 85% of the male population are plugged in beta males, and they bend the knee, they conform, they go along to get along, they become less so she can become more. They're usually the ones that say, hey, can we be boyfriend and girlfriend? What are we? They usually go, hey, where is this going? Are you seeing anybody else? They usually go, babe, I love you so much first. That's what he's talking about. And my point that I make to men is hold yourself in higher regard. I mean, first of all, make something out of yourself. And once you've made something out of yourself and you've developed some value, because men's value must be created, women's value must be preserved. Women are born inherently valuable. All they have to be is beautiful and pure, and that's it. That's all that men really care about. We don't really care about your degrees. We don't care about your fucking Tesla or your 3 cats and 2 dogs and the way you organize 17 throw pillows on your bed before you leave the house in the morning or anything like that. We don't really care about that. Men, on the other hand, need to create value for themselves. And once you've built value for yourselves, you've developed some renown for yourself, you put a little bit of a dent in the universe because you're doing something and you understand the world. That's when you're in a position when you're on the top shelf. That's really what this book brings you to is it brings you to the top shelf man. This is the experience that the top 5% of men have, where they're not these plugged in simp beta males that this guy's talking about that go, I love you first. Or what are we? Where is this going? Are you seeing anybody else? Shit like that. You want a chick to come to you and say, hey, Rich, I dig your vibe. I really don't want to share you. I got strong feelings. I think I love you. I think I love you. And then you're sitting there in a position now like, okay, this is a good place to be. Maybe you got her coming at you with this. Maybe you got her and 2 other chicks coming at you with something similar because you're spinning plates. You're a smart guy. You're the kind of guy that understands that you want some optionality. You want to be able to choose, because the best choices that you make when it comes to chicks are in the selection phase, who you select to deal with on a long-term basis. You don't run around going, I love you to every fucking chick, or doing it first. Let her do it to you first, okay? Men are the gatekeepers to relationships. Women are the gatekeepers to intimacy. Women decide when sex happens. Men decide when the relationship happens. Do you understand? And that requires her coming to you with the pitch saying, I've really developed strong feelings for you. I think I love you. What are we? Where is this going? Right? And that's when you can sit back and go, hey, I dig your vibe too, but I don't take women seriously that watch bullshit shows like Love Island. As an example, I don't take women seriously that are on social media all the time, posting provocative photographs of their tits and ass in their bathing suits every third day to their audience and engaging with them on that nonsense. I don't roll that way. And you can only do that when you're at or near the top shelf, and you can go, fuck her. I've got that option, and I got that option, and I got that option instead, because you can walk away with it. It's only guys that don't have optionality that go, oh, what are we? Oh, I think I have strong feelings for you and I love you. Let her come to you. You should be the selector. You should be the one making those decisions, not her. This guy, I don't know who this dude is, but this guy nailed it, because this is exactly what I've seen for years now. It's mostly guy. And trust me, dudes, I've been that fucking guy. I've been that soppy dude that's like, I think I have feelings for you. I've been a plugged in guy. Trust me. I can only speak from all these angles because I've lived them all. It's nothing to be ashamed of, guys. All I'm saying is ascend, right? Do the fucking work. I've been saying this for 12 years, 13 years now. I don't even know what I've fucking lost count. Let's talk about shit tests. This is a shit test. Girlfriend wants to use a trainer that she had sex with. Context, girlfriend wants to use a trainer that she had sex with once after I told her repeatedly that I was not okay with it. I think the only alternative is to break up. I have strong feelings for her, but I know I have to be realistic. This is a man that has some dignity for himself. She tells me I'm insecure, but everything in my head says this is disrespectful. It is. It's 100% disrespectful. Guys, even if you don't fucking listen to anything that I say, at least listen to this thing here, your gut, because it's calibrated a lot better than what this and this is for most guys. Anyway, she tells me I'm being insecure, but everything in my head says that this is disrespectful. So I know I'm not going crazy. And then he goes, is this disrespectful? Because he's confused. No, I am the guy from childhood and I have nothing against him. No, I know the guy from childhood and I have nothing against him. I'm 29. She's 30. She's 30, female. Why are you putting an F after it? Like you implying it's your girlfriend. Anyway, sorry if my grammar is bad. Mind you, I work out too and I'm in incredible shape, but not a personal trainer. This is a shit test. This is the kind of shit that chicks do. They're like, hey, I got a new personal trainer. I'm going to work out with Chad. And then you're like, I know Chad. You were fucking him like 2 years ago. You were dating that guy, right? Yeah, but I'm not doing that anymore now. And I'm going to, like this girl's going to get her body back. This is what chicks do there. This girl's going to get her body back. And they'll post a picture of themselves online with a photograph with them in the trainer. Fuck that noise. This guy's initial reaction, his gut reaction was, no, I'm breaking up with her. I'm going to have some dignity for myself because I'm not a fucking retard. That's how you have to go about it. This is how you pass these shit tests. Just say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to take a girl serious that's going to go and hire a personal trainer that she was fucking. Okay. I was born at night. I wasn't born at last night. If that's your thing, take your shit and go. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. It'll be locked if you try to come back in it. Very simple. You do not tolerate anything that's disrespectful. Gentlemen, you will get out of life what you tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect, you'll get more out of it. That's all that's going to happen. And then you're going to end up in one of those situations where you get married to a chick that didn't see you as her first choice because she wanted to be with Chad Thundercock. That's my rant on that. By the way, guys, let me take a quick break. I'm going to run the ad reel, and I'll be back in a moment. This episode is sponsored by yours truly. Gentlemen, if you're new here, your starting point is to get on my email list and join 50,000 other readers. Just scroll down and opt in over here with your information. And that's where you can download the free chapters on the 21 red flags to avoid and the 16 green flags to seek in long-term relationships. Just navigate to entrepreneursandcars.com/red-flags and get started there. Beyond that, there's book 1, The Unplugged Alpha, which has sold over 250,000 copies and summarizes the way the world and women truly work. And then there's book 2, recently released, The Top Shelf Man, which takes you far deeper down the rabbit hole and is about how the top 5% of men get everything they want out of life and women. Both books are very highly rated. I guarantee that you'll love them both. You can find them on Amazon. Now, brothers, if you like me and you take what you put in your body very seriously, you're going to want to use the Unplugged Alpha supplement line. It's the obsession with engineering higher absorption rates that sets my line apart from the others. You want to make sure that you absorb as much of the supplements as possible so you don't end up peeing out expensive urine and wasting your money. My supplement line is made in the United States from the highest quality ingredients, and unlike your typical cheap supplements in plastic bottles that originated from China, only quality supplements ship in dark glass bottles to keep your supplements fresher, longer, and don't seep endocrine-disrupting microplastics into your supplements that end up in your body. You can filter all products by your goals, including testosterone support, estrogen metabolism, fat burning, sleep support, and performance. Just visit theunpluggedalpha.com/shop and use the subscribe and save option to get 10% off your recurring supplement orders. Or check out my brand new testosterone bundle and save as much as 18% when you stack them all together. And lastly, if you've enjoyed my books and video content, you're going to absolutely love the School of Unplugging, which is my private community for men. Inside, you'll find over 50 hours of never before seen videos in a private classroom setting that'll teach you how to level up and apply the 7 spokes of a high value man to your life so that you can get the results that you're looking for. You can just copy and paste all the simple formulas to success on wealth creation, improving your looks, status, captivation, game, frame, and so much more with other men on their own unplugging journey. There's also a well-organized discussion board, meetups in real life, weekly Zoom calls that are recorded, held by me and my team of experts, all for a monthly membership that costs less than a cup of coffee, and there is brand new content being added every single month. The calendar tab makes spotting exactly what it is that you're looking for very simple, and all you do is you add it to your own calendar. See the description below for a link to everything I just mentioned above, or visit richcooper.ca, and on the courses tab, you can navigate to the School of Unplugging. Guys, make sure you check out the rest of my personal website and everything else, or to request a private one-on-one consultation with me. Now let's get on with the show. All right, we're back. These are my aminos, guys. I sip on these regularly throughout the day. I use my own stuff. Let's go to this tab over here. We talked about top shelf. Let's have a conversation about bottom shelf. This is your average guy on a dating app, the vast majority of them. This is your competition. Reddit dating advice. He says, I'm so sick of hearing that standard internet narrative. As a guy in his late 20s, my experience has been a double whammy of getting almost 0 likes, and the very few that I do are just brutal. I'm pretty active. I do distance running, hiking, love cooking, but the profiles liking me are either completely opposite lifestyles or just empty accounts with nothing but an IG handle in the bio. But the absolute worst part is the conversations, if you can even call them that. I'll ask a genuine, open-ended question about one of their prompts, and I get a one-word answer. Yeah, true. Cool, LOL. Zero effort. No follow-up questions. It's like pulling teeth. And the second I try to actually move things off the app and suggest a casual coffee or drinks, instant flaking or radio silence. Are people just on here for quick dopamine hit or validational boost? It's so exhausting. Half the time I feel like I'm not even talking to a real active human anymore. With AI and fake accounts being so rampant now, I'm convinced a lot of these are just ghost profiles or bots designed to keep us scrolling. A hard check to confirm there's an actual human on the other end who's actually present. I wish every dating app forced this. I'd gladly use a platform, blah, blah, blah. Standard plugged-in beta male. When you're on the bottom shelf, women don't respond to you. There's 3 categories of guys. The top shelf guys, the guys that she's indifferent to, and the bottom shelf guys. I'll rephrase it another way. The alpha males, the beta males, and then the ghosts, the invisibles. She doesn't engage with the invisibles. She won't respond to you. She won't match with you. This guy's getting some matches in the indifferent category. Because if women were hot to trot and they had genuine burning desire for him, because he was a top shelf guy, which he's not, they would be saying things like, hey, I really like this fucking restaurant. Let's go there. Or when you ask them an open-ended question, they don't give you a cool LOL answer. They'll answer your question in a sentence, and then they'll respond with another question, right? Because they want to get to know you. That's what women do when they're dealing with a guy that they're attracted to that's on a top shelf. If you're getting results like this, it's because you suck. It's because you suck using dating apps. You're probably not that attractive. You're probably not that captivating. You're probably failing on the 7 spokes of a high-value man, as I talk about in my books. If you haven't done the free assessment, you can see it in the ticker below. You can figure out where you stand on the 7 spokes of a high-value man at test.theunpluggedalpha.com. It's totally free. You can see exactly where you stand on the sexual marketplace. If you're low and it comes back on the test as a plugged-in beta male, you have work to do. I can help you with that. I have a community. You can see the QR code on the top left of my screen. We have a lot of actionable advice in there, a lot of information, and we do regular Zoom calls helping guys navigate these slippery slopes. The bottom line is, guys, if you get situations like this going on in your life, if you're single and you're looking for a woman, if you're looking for romance, if you want to have children, whatever it happens to be, if you don't have abundance, you're doing it fucking wrong. And most of it boils down to the shit you got to do on yourself first. And then once you've ascended, dealing with women accordingly. Because the vast majority of women out there, I'll be perfectly honest with you, they suck too. They're really not worth anything more than just a casual hookup. They're just not. They're mostly shit. They've been run through. They got bad attitudes. They're boss girls. They've got very extremely high standards. They've got a delusional disconnection from reality. Speaking of delusional disconnections from reality, let me go to that tab. Where is... Oh, I'm going to get to the... here it is. Here it is. The delusional disconnection from reality. This is what you're going to get a lot of on dating apps. And this is what the guys will get connections and matches to. But the guys in the top shelf, they just pass on them. We don't deal with chicks like this. Pay attention here.
The next man to enter my life literally has to kiss the ground I walk on, worship me, yearn me, give me my autonomy. Obviously, I'm not going to cheat on you, bro, but...
Let me just point on this here. I'm not going to cheat on you, bro. Look at her fucking eyes. You believe for a second this chick is loyal? Come on.
I'm not going to cheat on you, bro, but you're going to let me live my life and you're going to be happy for me and you're going to be my yes man and you're going to provide for me without making me feel like shit about it. Like the next man that comes into my life is going to be a fucking unicorn. And if that doesn't ever happen, then I don't want to be with anybody else because I'm going to be so freaking picky and so particular with who I date and who I give my mind and energy and body to. You are literally going to have to make me want you so bad. And you are going to have to make my life so much better than what I can provide for myself. If you can't do that, I don't want nothing to do with you. If you cannot make my life better than what it is right now with me and my kids.
There it is. Me and my kids. She wants a simp that's a handsome chat. That's what these broads want. They want a guy to bend the knee, to worship the ground that she walks on, a yes man, all this fucking stupid shit so that he can play some other motherfucker save game. She wants a guy to slot in because single moms, they're not looking for love. They're looking for help. You notice just about everything she said there boiled down to, I need help with all this stuff in my life. And if you can't add more than what I'm capable of giving to myself, I don't need you. I need a guy, hypergamy. I need a guy that's better than me to add some value to my life and to my kids' life. You would have to be operating on your last brain cell to fucking take on this on a serious level, gentlemen. You don't do it. Like, the delusion's real. I'm not going to lie to you. The delusion is real. There's a lot of trash chicks out there. This guy made me laugh. I want to share this clip with you because this dude put together a rant about dating women in your 50s, and it's pretty accurate.
What's it like dating women in your 50s? Well, I'm well into that demographic group now, so I've had the opportunity to taste the fruit. And I can tell you that the fruit is very ripe. To that point, many of them have fallen out.
It's not just the fruit is ripe, it's like rotting literally on the ground. But anyway, let's keep going.
Ripe. To that point, many of them have fallen out of shape. They're menopausal and they're a little bit crazy. They make irresponsible and irrational requests, and they often expect you to pay without offering any investment into the relationship. They're quickly easy to dismiss you as a potential suitor, especially if they're making a lot of money, because we know that basically a woman who makes more money than a man is a predictor of divorce. So that said, many of these women have priced themselves out of the dating market. They basically want a man who is making more money than them. And if they've acquired a lot of resources, either professionally or through a divorce, they will basically quickly shun another guy. With that, a lot of these women are looking for relationships. They are very well aware that they are getting older and they do not want to live their future alone. So casual sex has diminished dramatically in this demographic. They're generally looking for a relationship and quickly and often trying to.
I'm just pause there for a second because there's this notion of ASD. You may have heard the acronym ASD before. It stands for anti-slut defense. And a lot of these older women, they have very high ASD because when they're on the dating apps, they're looking for a beta male provider. They're looking for somebody to latch their wagon to, right? And he's got to be better than her, and he's got to be handsome, and he's got to be willing to commit. And she's also probably going to make him wait for any kind of intimacy. The women with the lowest levels of ASD, if I'm being honest, early 20s and newly divorced, like very newly divorced in a state of like separation. The ASD is very, very low. But let's carry on with him.
To peg you down, to commit. And that's all they really want to do. They want to commit you into a relationship. They're erratic in their behavior. And if you point out inconsistencies in their logic, instead of saying, thank you, it's more like, fuck you, take a hike, I'm not interested.
Yeah. I've talked to a lot of my friends are a little bit older than me. And I don't know, like they do the 50 to 65-year-old crowd. I don't know why, but it's like I hear the same stories over and over again. I give them the same answers.
You're an asshole. You're a narcissist. That's another thing. They're all traumatized. They are all traumatized. They will.
He's right. Like none of these chicks have a mirror. They're not willing to look in the mirror and be like, oh, well, that's something that I should take accountability for. It's very, very low on the accountability scale.
rant for the first 20 minutes about how awful their exes were, and they'll actually lose their composure. They'll freak out. I've seen this phenomenon happen many, many times, and frequently these women, as always, lack accountability. They'll very seldom ever say something to the effect of, oh, I was wrong, or I could have done something better. It's always his fault. And if they look back on the relationship, everything that was wrong in the relationship was his fault. They take no accountability with that. Generally speaking, a lot of these women are also not in great shape. I mean, let's be honest. People, generally speaking, are not in great shape. I prioritize my health and stress management. With that, a lot of these women feel mushy when you grab them, and it's just not great. They do themselves a lot of favor if they start exercising or taking care of themselves. They do prioritize men that are in good shape. I get a lot of matches on the dating sites, but to that point, they are very unwilling to take care of themselves. So that said, dating in your 50s kind of sucks. They're trying to peg you down in a relationship all the time. They act kind of crazy, no surprise there. And it's really not great to look forward to that, because they're still expecting you to foot the bill, and they offer very little in return. Good.
So date younger. Start with that. Just honestly, guys, stay away from anything that doesn't add any value to your life. That's not fun. That's not easy. That's not useful. I mean, you've done the work, you've ascended. If you're that guy, you've done the work, you've ascended, you're at the top shelf, you're in close proximity to the top shelf. Don't waste your time with women that don't knock it out of the park for you. Again, if you've ascended, you're at the top shelf, you're near the top shelf, you will have abundance. Even if you just use dating apps, you will have abundance. You'll have lots of optionality. I'm going to remind you guys of another topic I've covered before. It's just from another angle now, because this stuff will always come up in my feed. I had a 20-year detective who primarily spent most of his career investigating false rape accusations. And at the end of his career, he contacted me and he sent me all these details and shit. He actually joined my community. I've had a lot of conversations with him. And 85% of the women that file a police report for rape are lying, and they do it to cover up cheating. So let me just show you this post here. This guy says, my girlfriend was raped and became pregnant. I broke up with her because she wanted to keep the baby. Really, really shit situation. 2 months ago, my girlfriend was raped. It was done in a park. She didn't want to report it, and it went into a full breakdown. Wouldn't speak to the police, go to hospital. I couldn't force her. I just stayed with her. She was obviously in a very shit state since. I've been with her, by her side, listened to her, helped her. We went to therapy. She knows I'm there for her. She had a history of depression, and I've been really worried. Last week, we found out she was pregnant. I was abroad for 2 months before the rape on work. He was out of town for 2 months when she got raped conveniently, But came back early to care for her. So the baby definitely isn't mine. She's 100% sure it's the rapist. So we had a discussion. She's a devout Catholic. We initially decided on an abortion, but after she spoke with her mother, she decided to keep the baby, saying it isn't the baby's fault. I flat out told her I would not help her raise a baby of a guy that raped her. She cried and begged me not to leave. I told her she is the one making the choice. Either she keeps the baby and I leave, or aborts and I stay. I would not let this go. She didn't want either of those things to happen, so I told her we are done. Well, there's a man with some boundaries at least. And based on what I've heard from this detective that spent his career investigating rape accusations, there's an 85% chance that she was probably cheating on the guy, got pregnant while he was away. He was gone for 2 months, and then made up a story about getting raped. That's how things are. And you should just be aware of these things. Like this is the path that I'm trying to take you guys. Again, I help men get more out of what they want from life without making costly mistakes. I just point to the facts. This is what I do. This is my mission. This is my purpose. This is where I'm going with you guys. This is why I write the books. This is why I run the podcast. This is why I share these examples with you. This is why I take call-ins. I'm trying to make sure guys don't make the same mistakes that others have. I'm going to wrap up in a moment. There was a video that circulated last week in Italy. Sorry, it was filmed in Italy. And it was a African migrant who was pleasuring himself. I'm not going to show you the video because they actually show him just rubbing it out on the beach. He was basically pleasuring himself on the beach. And this is what the Italians did when they caught him. Because WAPs, they don't fuck around. I don't know if you can see this gal over here. Right here. She's got her hands up and she's trying to protect Captain Jerkoff here on the beach. But watch. They're beating the crap out of this guy. With a plastic chair of all things. This is her again, trying to protect the guy. She's got one hand covering him and another hand pushing this dude away. Remember, this guy was on the beach rubbing one out in front of women and children and families everywhere. Look at her. Now, I'm going to close that screen and I'm going to bring up this caption over here because somebody said it better than anybody else I could have possibly quoted on. Check this out. I love this. Oh my God, are you okay? I saw you were masturbating to children and people beating you up. I hope you didn't experience any racism. It's the same fucking subject every single time. It's a liberal white chick that it's like, I'm right. I'm right about everything. I'm right about everything. I am not wrong. This is where you get. This is where you get, and this is what you get. Oh, here. Let me share this with you. This is a really good story here. It kind of ties into what I was just showing you. I'll just read it to you. He says, I bring home a trapped coyote and I let it loose in the kitchen. Hackles up, teeth bared, pissing on the floor. My wife says, get it out. I tell her that's a very unwelcoming and unchristian way to speak about a future house pet. The children back into the hallway. I tell them it's a rescue. I tell them fences are fear. I tell them cages are barbaric. I tell them the old rules were cruel. I tell them it will domesticate in time. Then I grab my lunchbox and I leave them to live with my principles. When I get home, there's blood on the floor, and the experts who sold me on compassion are already explaining why nobody could have seen this coming. Anyway, that's the Western migration policy. And he has a little video here. Coyote. Doing coyote shit. I'm telling you guys, white liberal women, they're the fucking worst. And guys allow this shit. They just let it happen because they're too afraid to put their foot down. The solution to the vast majority of the problems that we have going on in the world today that are destroying the fabric of society, that are lowering the natural vibration of the coolness that we experience. I mean, the truth of the matter is, man, and people are going to go, oh, you're just old, Rich. Nah, shit was better when I was younger. It just was. The vast majority of the problems that we're experiencing today is because we're not willing to say no to women more and plugged in beta males. That's what it boils down to. Just saying no a little bit more. I got a few more tabs open here. I'm not going to run them. Save them for next week or another time. I usually try to keep these shows about 2 hours just because I lose my voice pretty quick. But DL was asking about the next conference. And we do have the sales page up. I'll just show it to you here. One of our guys just finished putting this together. It's got all the information on it. It's got some of the sizzle reels from the past conference, some of the details, the topics that we're covering, some of the speakers we got lined up. We got Jack Donovan, Sterling Cooper, Bensei. I'm, of course, speaking at my own event, Dr. Nick Carr. And we've got several others that we're going to announce in the coming months leading up to the event. We've already done the pre-sale to the guys already in the community. I'm going to drop the link. Conference sales page. So you can check that out. Open it up in a new tab on your browser, your tablet, your phone, whatever it happens to be. Take a look at it afterwards. If you're interested in attending my event, in the past, I've normally only offered it to my inner circle, to my community. This is one of the first times I'm publicly offering it. It's going to be in Dallas, Texas, the end of February. All the details are on the sales page. You can check it out if you want to attend and see some of the speakers, meet the guys in the community, see me. Some of the speakers that I've mentioned there, like Sterling Cooper, Jack Donovan, and a few others. We'll be adding more. It's a weekend event, Friday night to Sunday. And we've done a couple of add-ons. We got a hog hunt, helicopter hog hunt that's going to be on the Monday, which we're going to add on. Just some cool shit to sort of do with the boys, which is always fun. We like to create the community and get guys doing things. So you can check that out. I'll also leave a link in the description below. But I'll be mentioning this on the upcoming podcast shows leading up to the event because I'd like to get as many guys out as we can possibly meet and help them out with their own personal lives. We do a lot of one-on-ones and chop-up sessions because there's a lot of opportunities to get into some cool shit. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed the show. I'm back every Monday night at 7 p.m. Again, if you're newer to the content, newer to the channel, this is where the gold is in the book. The Unplugged Alpha is the first book. A friend of mine jokingly said this is the retard version. This is like the easy shit. This is the tip of the iceberg. Sure. This is where you can start if you're new. If you're a little more advanced, this is the Unplugged Alpha. This is the first book. If you're a little more advanced, you want Top Shelf Man, and this gets you deeper down the rabbit hole and gets you more of what you want when it comes to life as a guy. Again, thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing night. Peace out.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed that podcast, make sure you visit my website at richcooper.ca to learn more about my courses, my book, The Unplugged Alpha, community, or booking me for private coaching. Also, if you are a Canadian with $15,000 or more of credit card debt and what you are doing right now isn't paying off the balances, then visit totaldebtfreedom.ca and hit get a free quote to see if you qualify to settle your credit card debt for less than you owe today over the next 48 months. Make sure you check out the top pinned comment on YouTube for all the links mentioned during the show. Peace.